I got drunk and confessed to my gorgeous roommate. And instead of turning me down, she threw her arms around me and even said she wanted to move in and split the rent with me. But when I woke up the next day, it had all been a steamy dream. And staring at the empty other room now, I felt an odd pang of disappointment, and that's when a knock sounded at the door. The woman sharing the place with me is stunning. She was showering in the bathroom while I was eating and watching a show in the living room, separated only by a busted door that doesn't lock. A scream, she bolted out of the bathroom, stark naked. I'll be honest, I blanked, rooted to the spot for 3 full seconds. The water heater, it's leaking electricity, wherever it's leaking. How about you put some clothes on first? I do content for a living, just got into the field, and I barely make rent, so I save wherever I can. That's why I found a dirt cheap place. It's an old complex on the 6th floor with no elevator. As for the decor, calling it bare bones would be giving it too much credit. Calling it run down would almost be a compliment. It's got the basics, just either broken or barely usable. Luckily, I'm a guy, I don't fuss. A roof over my head is enough. Rent's $1,000 a month for a 2-bedroom, living room included, a total steal. Jennifer Delaney chose it for the price too, and because her office is 5 minutes away on foot, ever since she moved in, my life's been a waking nightmare. When the agent first said a woman would be moving in with me, I was against it. We're adults. I'm not living in some rom-com plot. Even trashy web novels don't sell the roommates to lovers trope that hard. A new roommate means hassle, no privacy, and a million annoyances. So why did I agree? 2 WeChat messages. First, a transfer from the agent. From this month on, we'd split the rent 50-50. He sent me $500. Second, a chat from him with a photo Jennifer's. Yeah, she looked amazing. I told myself to keep it together. I tried, really tried. Didn't work. For a 1/10 of a second, I thought maybe having a beauty around wouldn't be so bad. On day 1, I decided to be a gentleman and carry her suitcase. Let me grab your luggage. Did you wash your hands? My hand froze midair like a thief's paw reaching for a cop. Couldn't move forward, couldn't pull back. I stepped aside, sulking, and watched her tiny frame wrestle that huge suitcase. I forgot to introduce myself. She didn't seem interested in introducing herself either. Her brows knit the whole time we were inside. I knew what bugged her. There's a musty smell in the place, like most disappointing lives. Took me ages to get used to it. You've got a key, right? I'm heading out. She grunted through her nose. And I didn't bother with her, just marched out. I grabbed dinner with a buddy and didn't get home till after 10. I wandered back to my room, bleary-eyed, and froze. Is this even my room? The floor was spotless, my notes stacked in neat piles, except for the bedding. Everything had been tidied up. Gotta admit, having a neat freak girl around wasn't half bad. I hit the mattress and slept like a baby. Next morning, when I sat down to work, my drafts were gone. Worse, my flash drive was gone too, my lifeline. Years of ideas on that thing. Hey, Jennifer, did you tidy my room yesterday? You're welcome! She kept her head down, a toothbrush between her teeth, words muffled. That's not what I meant. Did you see a few A4 sheets on my desk? Threw them out. Wow. Never seen someone rummage through my stuff and be that righteous about it. You could have asked first, you know. They were all ghosts and demons. Creep me out. I'm a paranormal creator. What else would I draw? So what? Whatever. That's minor. Did you see the flash drive on my desk? Nope. You were the only one in my room yesterday. If you didn't see it, who did? She brushed past me, grabbing her things in a rush. I'm going to work. It's just a cheap drive. I'll buy you another. It's not about the stick. It had 10s of gigs on it. Torrents? Torrents my ass ideas. Don't know. Didn't touch it. Don't block the door. Bam, the security door slammed, shaking down a couple motes of dust, along with my shattered heart. After 8 that night, she came back from work, tossed me a brand new portable drive. Bigger capacity, bigger size, too harder to lose. This isn't about size. I set it aside. We need to talk. Jennifer chucked her bag into her room, didn't even take off her coat, dropped onto the couch, and tucked a loose strand behind her ear. Talk. I'm letting the flash drive go, not because it doesn't matter, but because making a fuss won't fix it. From now on, we set clear lines between private and shared areas. She nodded. We agreed. Living room, bathroom, and kitchen are shared. Bedrooms are private. The balcony is her private area because she needs to hang semi-private stuff like underwear. My room faces the sun so I can dry clothes inside, but hers is on the shady side, and nothing dries. In exchange, she'd cover the utilities. After laying down the ground rules, she took a few steps back to her room and started sobbing. The crying got louder and louder. I stood in the doorway rubbing my nose, thinking, I didn't bully you, did I? I barely use any utilities as is. I'm not making you pay that much more. Saturday. I was having a very nice dream when bang the bedroom door flew open. I jolted upright, staring into Jennifer's slightly panicked face. Could you maybe knock next time? I did knock. I glanced at the dent the handle had punched into the wall, then back at her. Even robbers knock softer than that. Why don't you lock your door? Look at this junker. Does it look like it has a lock? She waved it off like she was doing me a favor. Relax. I'm just here to borrow a couple hangers. Finished my laundry and realized I forgot to buy some. Help yourself. I curled up under the covers. Not really a good time right now. The corner of her lips twitched upward before she quickly hid it again. What? Working with your hands or something? No idea why, but me over 6 feet tall turned red like a kid caught doing something wrong. Oh wow, crayon Shin-Chan underwear, huh? She took 2 hangers, a smirk tugging at her lips again. Seriously, you're out of material to talk about, huh? Want me to give you a couple pairs? From her uneven little jog out the door, I could tell she wasn't nearly as calm as she pretended to be. Rooming together, right? Takes some getting used to. I used to think that meant figuring out each other's boundaries and not crossing them simple. Not her. She found the line, then made a sport out of jumping back and forth across it. Like she'd barge into my room without warning. Or waltz into the bathroom while I was brushing my teeth, half asleep, drop her pants, and plop down on the toilet. Then when she saw me, she'd scream loud enough to set off an air raid siren. I mean, seriously, who should be calling the cops here? And she's got 0 basic life skills. Once she asked why my laundry came out cleaner than hers. Turns out she never added detergent. She just threw her clothes in and prayed to the washing machine gods. She couldn't cook either, but insisted on trying, nearly burned the whole place down. Every time, I had to grumble and lecture her. The only thing that comforted me was she learned fast. By her second attempt, she already knew you can't put out an oil fire with water. She used detergent instead. July 16th was her birthday. How did I know? Because that day she was like a possessed demon, mumbling nonstop in the living room. It's my birthday! Please don't let me work overtime! It's my birthday! Please don't let me work overtime. I usually sleep like a rock, but not through that spell. By the time I stomped out, ready to tell her off, she'd already left. She must have been in a rush, didn't close her bedroom door. I didn't go in. But from the doorway, I saw her takeout boxes, half a bun, some congee, and 2 tiny portions of veggies. That was her dinner. I don't even know why, but I went downstairs and bought groceries. Timed it so the food would be ready when she got home. Cursing myself the whole time for being an idiot. When she opened the door that evening, the table in the living room was set with 4 dishes and a soup. And a tiny 4-inch cake sat in the corner. She froze. What? You having friends over tonight? I untied the apron at my waist. No, just celebrating a fool's birthday. Jennifer's eyes lit up instantly. Oh my God, you knew it's my birthday? I gave her a deadpan look. Ma'am, let's just say if you'd chanted any louder this morning, the whole building would have known. Perfect timing. I bought beer. Let's drink a little. I don't hold my liquor well. Just a bit. We finished 6 bottles between us, 3 each, and both seemed totally fine. I went downstairs for another 6. Started to feel a buzz. I looked into her eyes. All right, miss. Give it to me straight. How much more can you drink? She blushed a little, lifting one finger. That's a promise? 1 more bottle? Keep 'em coming. Thing is, men, especially northern guys, can't stand to be outdrunk by a woman. When I say I can't drink much, it's only to avoid looking like I'm forcing her. But since she said that, there had to be 1 winner and 1 loser, 1 standing, 1 lying down. I went down again and lugged back 2 cases, 24 bottles each. We ate, drank, lit candles, made wishes, ate cake, burped a few times. Somehow, things between us felt closer. You know, For someone not much to look at, you're actually pretty sweet. Since my dad died, this is the first birthday anyone celebrated with me." I nodded. "You're a pretty girl. Nice figure, too. Just a shame about the mouth." We each cracked open 2 more beers. Maybe it was the alcohol, but I finally asked what'd been on my mind. "You look like you grew up well off. How come you're renting a dump like this?" "We did have money. Yeah, but my dad got sick. We spent everything, and it still didn't help. He passed away 3 months ago, so I came out here to work. Just a few simple words, but they carried all the weight of life's cruelty." I didn't push further about her mom when someone doesn't mention the other parent. It's either because things were bad or they're gone too. Not something you dig into. That night, she didn't go back to her room, fell asleep with her head on my thigh, mumbled something in her sleep, too faint to make out. Maybe she dreamed of her dad. Maybe she thought I was him. Me? Didn't sleep a wink. Not because I was thinking anything dirty, my leg was numb as hell. After that night, we became friends. Just friends. The kind who could lounge on the couch, eat snacks, and watch TV together. She probably liked my personality. I mostly enjoyed the view. Then one day, she was showering, and I was eating and watching a show, separated only by that broken door that didn't lock. Ah! A scream! She burst out of the bathroom, completely naked. Honestly, I froze again solid 3 seconds. My head, my eyes, my hands, no idea where to put any of them. Wanted to look, but didn't dare. If I looked, it felt wrong. If I didn't, it felt rude. All I could manage was, "Streaking for fun now? The water heater? It's electrified. Wherever it's leaking, go put some clothes on first." She came back dressed, hair dripping, water soaking her white robe, driving me half crazy. "I told you so many times that old heater shot keeps shorting out." "You're lucky you're still alive," she mumbled a shy. Her face red as a crab. Not sure if it was from embarrassment or the shock. "All right, go back to your room. I'll handle it." I cleaned up the floor, checked the heater with a tester. Yeah, it was leaking. Texted the landlord. "The water heater's leaking. Please replace it. Just unplug it. It'll be fine." Thinking of how terrified Jennifer looked, a wave of anger boiled up inside me. Sure, I'll keep it for when I feel suicidal. The next day, the landlord brought a brand new unit. Ever since that hazy incident, she'd been awkward around me, always avoiding me. That whole thing was like dropping a splash of soda into still water. Something changed, though I couldn't tell what. About 3 months later, I don't know if it was something I ate or what, but my stomach started cramping hard. At first, I didn't think much of it. Went to the bathroom a few times, felt slightly better, then got back to writing and drawing. But something felt off. My whole body started to go cold. Weak chills running through me. Sweat dripped from my forehead onto the keyboard in big drops. I barely crawled onto the bed, hoping to rest a bit. My stomach felt like someone was stirring it with a red-hot iron rod. The pain so intense I almost blacked out. Breathing got harder too. I knew I couldn't tough it out anymore. I needed a hospital. "Hey, I just need to borrow your Luke Dawson." "What's wrong with you?" Jennifer rushed to my bedside, touched my face, and came away with a handful of sweat. I could barely speak by then. She quickly threw on a coat and tried to carry me downstairs, 6th floor. I still can't figure out how that small frame of hers managed to get me down. "Don't carry me. Just call a cab. Cabs are expensive. Lady, I'm dying." After all that struggle, it was probably past midnight. She's stubborn, wouldn't put me down, just kept carrying me. Tried calling a ride for ages, nothing. Maybe call an ambulance. "Good point. Did you bring your phone?" She turned to look at me, her lips almost brushing my face. I gave her a look, hoping she'd get it. She mumbled. "Left in the room, ran out too fast." She wanted to take me back home to get it, but she knew she couldn't carry me that far again. Didn't want to leave me alone either. No cars, no people around, just a few flickering streetlights mocking our IQ. "Forget it. I'll just carry you to the hospital." The nearest hospital was 2 kilometers away. When we finally got there, she collapsed in the hallway, drenched in sweat. Barely rested a moment before sprinting back home to grab her phone. By the time I was hooked up to an IV and starting to feel better, dawn had already broken. Doctor said it's just gastric spasms. Nothing serious. Thanks. You should rest a bit. It's almost time for work. It's fine. I'll take the day off. 2 days later, I was completely recovered. To thank her, I made a huge dinner. Jennifer said my cooking was amazing and asked if I could cook for her for the rest of my life. I froze, then nodded. She looked thrilled. Later, I realized I'd misunderstood. She literally just meant cooking for the rest of her life. From then on, she stopped ordering takeout, pestering me to cook instead. Said it was healthier and cheaper. Right. Healthy for you, cheap for you too. You even know how tiring cooking is? I grumbled, but every time I thought of her tiny frame hauling me to the hospital, I couldn't help flipping the spatula a little harder. Dinner's ready! No sound from her room. I figured she was busy. Waited over 10 minutes. Called her a few times. Still nothing. When I went in, she had her head buried under the pillow, quietly sobbing. What's wrong? No answer. Someone bully you? Still nothing. I got a little annoyed. Come on, that's not cool. We're friends, right? You could at least tell me what's going on. She finally pulled her head out, eyes red and puffy. My boss bullied me. The situation wasn't complicated. Jennifer almost never worked overtime, always left on time. Fair enough. But with her EQ fitting into corporate culture was kind of a stretch. Add a few sick leaves and her manager started dropping hints that she should resign. I knew what she meant. She didn't mind quitting, but she hadn't done anything wrong. She deserved her compensation. But companies, man, they've got no conscience. The manager dumped all the worst, most disgusting work on her, and when she couldn't keep up, he'd start the mind games. She was falling apart. I patted her back. That's it? She nodded. Leave it to me. Her company dealt in small loans. So that day, I put on my nicest clothes, shaved, strapped on my beat-up luxury watch, and strutted into their lobby. Good afternoon, sir. How can I help you? I'm here to discuss business. Of course. Do you have an appointment? No. Get your manager right away. From a distance, I saw him approach like a dog in a suit. Sir, hello. What kind of service are you looking for? I recalled the photo Jennifer had shown me. Yep, that was him. Loan. I need a loan. How much are you looking for? 200. 200,000? The manager hesitated. 200 million? Use your brain. You think I'd come here for 200 bucks? Ah, sorry. That's not what I meant. Do you have assets, property, or a company in your name? All of the above. Then 2 million's definitely possible. Any credit issues? None. But I didn't say 2 million. I said 20 billion. What? He wiped sweat off his forehead. Mr. Luke, you're joking, right? I downed the cup of tea in front of me. Conversation's over. Wait, that's not what I meant, mister. Luke, please. That day, I talked circles around that jerk of a manager, started with company business, drifted to products, then poetry, and finally life philosophy. Left without giving him even a phone number. Just my cool departing silhouette, and the night breeze turning a little cold. The next day, I went again, and again, for a whole week. Eventually, he figured out I was just messing with him, and the guards stopped letting me in. Being a content creator doesn't pay much, but it sure means you know people. I posted a call for help on my account, and a flood of righteous volunteers showed up to fight for justice. Goes to show how fed up everyone is with sleazy companies like that. Some even recorded their conversations and sent me clips to use as material. The internet never disappoints. One guy tried to loan a wife. Another loaned a hammer. Another just loaned a fart. One dude said he just founded a country and wanted to mortgage it. For pocket money. I was cracking up under my blanket, laughing so hard my stomach hurt. What's so funny? What's got you grinning like that? Nothing. Just thinking your boss is probably about to hand you a fat severance. Poetic justice, really. Evil meets its match. Even if they called the cops, there was nothing to report. Everyone was just inquiring about loans. Not interested? Fine, that's business. The company couldn't kick everyone out either. Some were real clients. Turn them all away and they'd go bankrupt. Some of my friends would chat with their staff all day, hours of serious talk before pulling a prank at the end. They wasted company time and manpower, and compared to the severance payout, that loss must have hurt way more. Who are you? What do you want? No idea how that manager got my number, but I liked his straightforwardness. Just didn't like how he ground his teeth while talking. You want to fire an employee? Fine. Pay what you owe, follow the legal process, and those people will stop coming. 5 minutes after I hung up, Jennifer ran into my room. My boss agreed to give compensation. How did you do that? Her big eyes blinked with excitement. I enlightened him with love. Worried that sleazebag might give her trouble, I went with her on her last day. The manager's face turned green the moment he saw me. A few salesmen nearby looked ready to eat me alive. I just waved politely, and Jennifer stared, dumbfounded. Wait, you know all these people at my company? You're on good terms with them? Pretty good, yeah. We've had some deep exchanges. Jennifer took a week off, sleeping in every day, eating my cooking. She kept complaining she'd gained 6 pounds in a week. She seemed genuinely happy during that time, even snored a little in her sleep. You could tell she finally relaxed. But after that came the endless cycle of sending resumes, interviews, and waiting for calls. At one point, I even thought about teaching her how to do self-media. Maybe it'd be nice 2 of us holed up at home every day. I admit I had selfish reasons. Having a beautiful woman around lifts your mood, but it was also a real idea. Being your own boss beats working for one. The money's about the same, hours are flexible. Sure, no insurance is a downside, but the ceiling's much higher. Luke, I got a job! Her voice over the phone nearly pierced my eardrum. She must have shouted it. Great! There goes that dream. What job? Where? Admin work in Sifang District. Sifang. That's an hour away by subway and bus. My throat felt dry. I coughed. Well, congratulations. That night we had a few drinks to celebrate. After dinner, basking in the moonlight, I casually asked, So, when are you moving out? Need a hand? She tilted her head, looking at me like I'd said something insane. When did I say I was moving out? Just thought it's kind of far from your new job. An hour's not that bad. I smiled and shook my head. You didn't used to think that. You moved here before because your old place was 40 minutes from work. That was... She mumbled for ages without finishing the sentence. I slung an arm over her shoulder, gazing at the soft, bright moon outside. If anyone bullies you again, you come to me. I've got your back. Well, it's just that the food here's too good to leave. She finally came up with a decent excuse. Moonlight poured over us, and for once, 2 lonely people didn't feel so lonely. Hey, you two! What's this playing house now? The landlord walked in, surprised to see us in pajamas, unwashed, and eating dinner together. No, just a simple meal. Sorry to interrupt, but I've sold the place. The buyer's in a hurry, so I'll need you both to move out soon. I'll pay double the penalty stated in the contract, all right? I froze, not knowing what to say, and looked back at Jennifer. She had a chicken drumstick in her mouth. Heard the landlord. Chewed once, took a bite, and said, Oh. Couldn't tell if she was happy or sad. She just went back to her room. The landlord, seeing neither of us react, got nervous. What does that "oh" mean? I'm following the contract. I hate to do it, but there's no choice. All right then, give us 3 days. We'll need time to find a new place, right? 3 days, fine. If nothing went wrong, that was our last dinner together. Neither of us drank, conversation came and went, sometimes missing each other entirely. I didn't know what was on her mind, or mine. Since we can't stay here, where will you go? I guess Sifang District to be closer to work. You? I stayed quiet for a bit, then stuffed my mouth with food it tasted salty. Maybe the suburbs, or someplace quiet, less crowded, cheap, good for inspiration. She nodded. We both knew not to ask about continuing the roommate thing. The time had been too short, much too short. From strangers, to tension, to understanding, then to supporting each other. It had all happened too fast. If we'd had another 6 months, maybe I'd have had the courage to ask if we could try being more than friends. But now, saying that out loud would just make me look like a creep. Maybe she felt the same. Hey, maybe I could help you look for a place in Sifang. We could split rent again cheaper that way. I couldn't hold it in. Men, after all, have thicker skin. She froze, a mouthful of rice stuck mid-bite. Couldn't swallow, couldn't spit it out. There's a new coworker. We kind of agreed to. Haha, no worries. I was just saying. It's better to live with a coworker anyway. Makes commuting easier. But if you really want... No. Just asking. I cut her off twice. trying to ease the awkwardness, and to stop her from suggesting something insane like the three of us renting together. Don't even know why that thought scared me so much. Once she gently turned me down, I actually felt relieved. No more of the frustration I'd felt when I first heard the landlord was selling. Thinking about it now, yeah, room sharing's inconvenient. Maybe this was just a small detour in a dry, ordinary life. I carried Jennifer's luggage downstairs. She brushed some dust off my shoulder. Take care, okay? Want a hug? She hesitated. I don't know why, but those 3 words stung like a soldier's farewell, or old friends parting ways. What hug? We've got each other on WeChat. Nobody died. No need to get dramatic. True. She laughed, then suddenly threw herself into my arms. Thanks for everything. I watched her ride away in the moving truck, fading from view. What drifted away with her felt like the love I never got to start. I don't remember how she pulled away or how we said goodbye. All I remember was that one moment she held me tight, and all I could think was 4 words. Fate is cruel. It suddenly hit me. I hadn't reacted properly when Jennifer said goodbye. All I could do was wave hard at the empty street. I opened WeChat, staring at her profile picture, wishing she'd message me. Nothing. After waiting a while, I opened the chat box, wanting to say something. But after agonizing for minutes, I couldn't type a single word. From that day on, our chat stayed frozen on September 6th. Maybe neither of us knew how to start. The next day, I moved too. I called a few good friends to help, lots of noise and laughter. By the time we were done, it was dark. We found a barbecue place, cracked open beers, and talked nonsense. The familiar vibe pulled me back into the real world, and that small, delicate figure seemed to weigh less on my heart. Hey, Luke! Where's that pretty roommate of yours? Moved out. I shot him a glare. Why you gotta bring that up? Why didn't she move with you? She works in Sifang District, man. What would she move in with me for? Probably found a place over there. Wait, you didn't even ask where exactly? Damn, why do you talk so much? Clinking glasses and loud laughter drowned out the quiet ache inside. As beer mixed with smoke, the heaviness in my chest started to lift. Be honest, man, we're all bros here. You liked her, didn't you? Be honest, man, we're all bros here. You liked her, didn't you? I kicked him under the table. You're half under the damn table already, and still gossiping? Doesn't matter where I am. Just answer. If you really like her, we'll help you chase her. No big deal. I like your grandpa. Nah, my grandpa's off limits. He and Grandma are solid. Another buddy, slightly more sober, slung his arm around my shoulder. Whether you liked her or not, you still thinking of sharing a place again? Hell no! I shook my head. What, you all think I'm that desperate for a woman? Then why'd you rent a 2-bedroom? Just that one line cracked something open in my head. Right. Why did I rent a 2-bedroom when I live alone? I hadn't even realized until they mentioned it. After all that apartment hunting, I picked one not exactly cheap, even sort of close to Sifang. I couldn't justify it myself. Maybe, like my friend said, deep down I was hoping Jennifer would come back. 2 bedrooms, 1 to sleep in, 1 for naps. Life went back to quiet normalcy, but some habits are hard to shake. Like how I stopped ordering takeout and preferred to cook, though I always made too much. Couldn't finish it all, ended up eating leftovers the next day. My laziness faded. I started cleaning regularly. Even the empty room got tidied up somehow. It felt comforting when spotless. Before showering, I'd still tap the running water with my finger a few times, making sure it wasn't electrified, even though the new heater had a built-in safety system. That's fine, it's like Jennifer trained me into better habits. The rain tonight came down harder than usual. It lashed against the window like it was being chased by something. Lightning flashing, thunder rumbling like a giant snore. I sat at my desk sketching horror symbols, debating whether a ghost under the bed or outside the door would be scarier. Lost in thought, I bent down and peeked under the bed. What the hell? Not because I saw something terrifying, but because something completely unexpected was there. The USB drive, the one Jennifer had lost. How the hell is it here? I dragged out all the junk from under the bed. It was a duffel bag stuffed with off-season clothes. When I moved, I hadn't bothered to store it properly. Just shoved it there, half-zipped. Clothes had spilled everywhere. The flash drive must have fallen out with them. Turning it in my hand, I could almost see Jennifer cleaning again, pinching her nose, frowning, stuffing my clutter into a bag, then tossing it aside in disgust. My dad used to say, helping tidy up someone's house is a polite thing to do.
And how old were you when he said that?
8. And now? 23. The old conversation popped into my head, oddly warm. Great. I finally had the perfect creepy vibe going, and one flash drive just killed it. Bang, bang, bang. Someone knocked made me jump. The knocking quickly turned to pounding. I opened the door and, honestly, if I weren't a firm materialist, I'd have fainted. The woman standing there was drenched, long black hair plastered to her face, staring at me in silence, eyes full of exhaustion and grief. You idiot! Not gonna help me out here? I hurried to grab her luggage and haul it inside. Jennifer, you what? What's going on? She ignored me, walked in, took a quick look around, and lifted her bags into the other bedroom with practiced ease, like she'd scoped the place out before. Renting through agents is a scam. I'll just transfer the rent to you directly, save the middleman fee. I laughed and pulled her into a hug. Welcome back, roommate. That's quite a welcome. Go shower before you catch a cold. This water heater doesn't leak electricity, right? Nope, I tested it myself multiple times. I took her wet coat and hung it up. Hey, after your shower, stay for dinner. I cooked too much again. You cooked? There it is. The I made too much line. Classic. Yeah, I've been overcooking every time lately. No idea why. Whew. Jennifer rubbed her stomach. Still as good as ever. Gonna make me fat. Can I ask something? How'd you even find me here? Ask the rental agent. Same guy as before, remember? Turns out he's not as bad as you said. The guy really wasn't. If he were greedy, he wouldn't have given Jennifer my new address. I meant he's dark as in his skin tone. That's true, he is pretty dark.